Yo, what those are, welcome back to Reviews with Jake, where I'm here to put the stinker of a year to rest, starting with the stinkiest of the stink. As mentioned in my previous video, yes, I am nipping 2020 in the butt early because, let's be real, 2020 just needs to end. In the midst of packing everything I own into a box and moving into a new house, I can't think of a better reason to just pack it in early. I realize that this might leave a little meat on the bone, some potential movies that might come out that would have landed on this list, but I packed it in early. You know, 2020's been that kind of a year, but you know what? Let's just put it out of its misery. Let's take it behind the shed. First things first, my 3 dishonorable mentions. My Spy, #Alive, and The Turning. 3 movies that I went in with legitimate optimism that just got slowly smothered and curb stomped throughout the course of watching them. But not nearly to the extent of these 5 films, my worst films of 2020. Number 5, Mulan. Disney's at-home anger management test for you in 2020, coming at the low cost of $30. I was legitimately excited for this movie coming into this year, but one, they wiped their ass with the story from the original animated film, but then they have the audacity to charge $30 just to watch it before December when they poop it out onto Disney Plus for everyone else to see. It's ludicrous. Hell, it might be available on that platform right now for you by the time that you watch this. Should you watch it? Well, number 4, Dolittle. Not even the great RDJ could pull this turd out of a dragon's poop chute. Another movie I was actually excited about because I wanted to see what Robert Downey Jr. did to follow up his massively long, awesome, epic run as Tony Stark, and then he does this. I mean, granted, it does look like he had fun doing it. That means something. He's probably at that point in his career where he just doesn't give a f***. Well, I guess he's already hit that point before, but I digress. The point is, I hope to see some greater things from the man after this probable blip in the radar. Number 3, Lost Girls. A movie that's probably not nearly as bad as I thought it was, but it doesn't change the fact that I dreaded every minute while watching it. It is the prime example about why I need to be more selective about what I watch and review, because I had no business watching this movie. It is the golden standard that I point to when I say I need to crack down on that. Because again, full transparency, it probably wasn't as bad as it is for the 3rd worst film of 2020. That doesn't mean I didn't want to run headfirst into a wall while watching it, and maybe a little bit afterwards. Admittedly. Number 2, Artemis Fowl. Wow, Disney did a bang-up job this year, didn't they? I've never read any of these books, but if it's anything like these movies, I have serious doubts and questions about the general public and why they put this story and books on a pedestal. My guess is that's not the case because the world in this movie seemed like it was worth exploring, but its portrayal in this version, this adaptation, just seemed like the most generic, regurgitated, basic thing ever. This movie had no life, no soul to it, which is a problem in a movie with a world that needs life breathed into it. And number 1, the worst movie of 2020 according to my probably terrible taste in movies. The Grudge. I don't know what it is about the first movie I watch every year, but it always lands on this list. But this year, they really outdid themselves with this abomination. I actually rewatched the 2004 Sam Raimi version of the film shortly before watching this one, and that one actually still holds up somewhat. It knew exactly what pieces were in front of them and knew exactly how to use them. This version, on the other hand, had no idea how to use these very same pieces. It just felt like it was constantly trying to jam a square peg into a circle hole. It was an absolute train wreck that has me so fearful of the first movie I'm going to watch and review in 2021. I'm not even going to bother checking out the early odds and spreads on the coming soon page on IMDb because, let's be real, that thing's going to change like 40 times by the time it actually gets here, so I guess we're just playing the waiting game. But there it is, folks, the worst films of 2020. Hallelujah. But that is just me. What do you guys think? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe to this channel to catch the best of 2020 coming real soon. Stay safe. Thanks for checking in.